This is the wrong time to be learning your lines.
You got my mic? Oh,
Doing well. How about yourself? Good.
Ah, well, my name is Nathan Purdee, and my character is Joe.
my name is Phillip Powell, and I play Hank. Doesn't have a last name.
My name is Brian Cager. My character's name is well, everybody calls him God damn it, but his real name is Mr. Jackson.
Um, I understand what it's like to be timid and unsure, which is kind of contrary to being an actor. But I think Hank is, a little bit put upon, a little bit unsure, and we can all identify with that. And Hank is older. I'm older, although I'm technically the second youngest in the cast. I would point out. I'm 60, so I'm one of the younger ones in the cast. But I identify with the struggles of connecting with other people. You have to get together in person and do this stuff, which kind of seems inane and pointless. You have to share with people and get to know their problems and fears before you can express your own hopes and fears as well. That's how I've connected with Hank.
The connection is I actually worked with adults with mental handicaps for about 8 to 12 years, roughly, managing day programs and doing one-on-ones and stuff like that. And the crazy part is when they asked me to do this role, nobody knew that was my background. So it just kind of this character ended up being a culmination of some of the consumers that I worked with. But the challenging part of that was, although I realized it's a culmination of them, I never took the time to sit down and like say I want to take this from this one, this from that one. It just happened. Because they're a part of me. Some of their mannerisms and little ticks just automatically came out or whatever. So right, yeah, so, yeah, because it was just weird because I didn't audition for it and he just asked me to do it, but he had no clue that I had that kind of background. So this is why it worked out.
And Joe is a combination of a lot of people. It's a combination of me, an uncle, and some knuckleheads that I've seen out on the streets in real life. Joe lives. He's the real deal. Yeah.
It has challenged me as an artist because I have to learn how to interact with all these different personalities on stage that are coming from a wildly different perspective than I normally would have life experience with. And a lot of different characters that are kind of crazy, kind of wacky, doing things that I probably wouldn't do. And I also have to keep my experience that isn't revealed until the end of the play secret, but yet communicate that I'm hiding something to the audience at the same time.
Um, Actually, I've been acting since first grade. Was the first impactful stage presentation that I remember. I always was very insecure because I was a little fat kid growing up and really insecure. And when they were putting together the Christmas play, and I don't really remember what role I wanted because I was in first grade, but I do remember that I didn't get it, but I felt like they ended up casting me as the snowman, and I felt it was because I was a fat kid. And so I really kind of struggled with that for a minute because he didn't have any lines. But I got so much notoriety from that because all I did was sit and just melt the whole time, and everybody just was like, "Oh my god," you know what I'm saying? I just it totally melted, so I slowly melted throughout the whole show, you know what I'm saying? And it ended up being very, very noticed, and so that sparked, and then but the first professional play was Mark Jones's production of Alone. That was I think I was 18, I think. Yeah, I thought that was the first name. Yeah, yeah. So, but I've always liked all types of artistic expression, no matter what it is. Like you said, poetry, singing, whatever it is, as long as. Ooh, don't have one right this second. But 'cause it's been a while since I went down that lane. Sorry. But I just like being able to in any type of expression, uh, whether it's uh, 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 statues, whatever it is, art, drawing, any type of expression can be can have so many different layers because it's left up to the perception of the person hearing, seeing, or feeling it or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
I started doing this when I was in high school, just kind of casually. But in college, I started doing this, and I started doing it because I saw some of the shows, and I thought to myself, man, I think I can do as good as that, And it turns out, at least I got cast, so maybe so. In it, I got bitten by the bug, as they say, and I've been doing this for now 40 years. So, I went on, moved into community theater and then professional theater, and I've been doing it ever since, and I really, really love it.
I hear that question a lot, and all I can say when I'm doing something like this role, I wouldn't do it unless it meant something to me. Uh, it's an important character. He's silly, but he's for real. He's got some demons, but it's a fun character to play. I try not to think too much into it. As far as young people trying to get into this business, have fun. If it's not fun, I'm done. Just have fun. I don't have any special meaning. I can't give you any Denzel quotes. It's what I do, and it's what I love to do. And if you don't love to do it, find something that you love to do and do that.
To always reach out to the network that you have, and even to not be afraid to reach out to people that are strangers, because Hank found a home in essence among strangers, and some of them that don't even really like him that much, but still that connection is important. And it's also important to hear perspectives that are not yours, that disagree with you. It's good to hear perspectives that are not your own experience. And so I learned that. I take it away. But connection and community is important in life and necessary for survival and hope. That's the message I take away. No problem.
I think the biggest thing that I got from it is that we all have a surface person that people come in contact with, but you never really know who that person is or what they're dealing with or what they've been through or the layers of life that made them who they are. And so it's worth getting to know people if you have that kind of time and you're around them because um, you just never know what type of person they are or what they've been through. And that came from my background with the adults with handicaps too because just like my character, he wasn't born that way. And a lot of times we see people with mental illness, whatever, and our first assumption is that they were born that way. But I had so many consumers and so many clients that were professors, were going for their third masters or whatever, and just studied themselves into a point where they were no longer competent. Or either there was one who had a regular life and his mother passed, he never recovered. You know what I'm saying? So there's one that she was a doctor with her own practice and everything, slipped on something at the house and hit her head and was in a wheelchair and depended on others for the rest of her life. So we don't know from one second to another how our lives could be. It's a moment in time that our lives can be totally different. And so yeah, yep. So that's the main thing. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
You lucky she didn't cut your balls off with that butcher knife. That ain't funny. And y'all been shaking his hands and letting him get your coffee for you. hell, Joe. Don't move. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Nobody tearing that down. Shit, that's a good house. Just needs some work done on it. Foundation is solid.